Hello, man babies! Here we go again. Like a drifter, I was born to walk alone. And it's another week, another episode of The Mandalorian, and I bet you all couldn't wait to log on to tonight's stream because tonight was a doozy. So, first up, let me remind you of the day of the week. It's Wednesday. The month is April. The year is 2023. And apparently it's First Contact Day if you're a Star Trek fan. So there you go. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. I am, of course, Ruin Johnson, the greatest Hollywood Star Wars writer, director, and also, and I trust you're doing very, very well. So, on this evening's stream/podcast, we are discussing the sixth episode, Season 3 of The Mandalorian. But before we begin, I have some formalities to go through. Get yourselves warmed up in the chat. Get yourselves cozied in there because we're going to need you tonight. So, if you prefer your entertainment in podcast form as opposed to YouTube form, we are on Spotify. The links are in the description. And as always, Brownies on OnlyFans, you can catch him there right now, all oiled up and ready to go. So if you've not shut down for the evening, as Brown always says, lots to get through. Shall we get the guests out? I think we goddamn well should. So, first of all, he's back. He is my number one fan, hailing from a tent in my back garden. He is the Celtic season ticket holder. Set your faces to stunning and brave. It's not Brian. How are you doing, not Brian?
Hey, evening Ruin, good evening chat. I was going to say evening fellow guests, but there's no one about yet.
No, you're the first up, Brian, and first out the trap. And we've got a good one tonight, haven't we? I mean, a good one as in a good stream. As terms of the episodes go, it could be one of the worst things I've ever fucking witnessed in my entire life.
Yeah, trap 2 toilets full of you know what. We can't swear on this stream in case Brown gets demonetized.
Oh, we can't.
He's got a
We
large
can't
bill.
and just points of clarification, when we say the phrase trap, we are referring to something you'd see at the dog races, not something you'd see on the dark web. So yes, please don't demonetize us so early on in the stream. Anyway, Brian, I feel as though we're treading on eggshells here. Shall we get the next retrobait out?
Yes, why not?
Let's do it. Okay, next up. From a VPN far, far away, he's the protocol on Adderall, the android with the hemorrhoids. It's the golden reach-around droid of choice. It's Zee-ThreePIO.
Oh, good evening, Master Ruin. I hope you are feeling well.
I'm feeling very well, and Z, there was, much to talk about in tonight's episode, but it was a absolute droid fest. Did you not think?
It was the much-anticipated Droid episode of The Mandalorian, and the last time I was this excited was the time that Uncle Owen dressed up in Aunt Beru's sexy lingerie.
Oh dear. And points of clarification there, if you do choose to dress in alternative clothing of the opposite gender, no one's judging you. It's absolutely fine. Brownie does it all the time. So, again, you know, don't demonetize us for that one. Right, Z, shall we get the next retrobait out?
Oh, let's.
Let's do it, because we've got so much to get into tonight. I can barely wait. Okay, next up. Watch out, War and Peace. It's the Star Wars novelist. He hails from the 4th-ranked shitters town in the UK, live from a migrant military base. He's the jester from Leicester. It's Swapshop.
I'm going to smack Brown for that intro. I'm hearing an awful lot of flute going on in the intro tonight. I wonder who's playing that.
Brownie's found some toys that he's playing with, and it's not the normal 12-inch black dildo. But yes, Swappers, I know you like to write, construct stories, and think about plot and characterization and character arcs. And I'm sure with that in mind, you must have absolutely puked yourself watching that episode tonight. he's playing the old comb and the cigarette paper, and he said another word there. The comb and the cigarette paper, you know the one.
Is that the monetization gone from the copyright?
Oh no, I think you've screwed us there. But Swappers, I know it's like rolling a turd in glitter, but lots for us to get into tonight. I'm sure you'll agree.
How are we going to do it all in 2 hours? I don't quite understand.
2 hours.
It's going to be like sitting on the loo and just wiping forever and wondering when it's going to end, isn't it? You know, it's going to last like a pot of Marmite. You know, we're just going to be here until the early hours, so we better get on with it.
It's a bank holiday weekend, folks. No one's going to work tomorrow, or you're not going to now anyway. So we're going to stick as long as it takes. But to get us through that, we're going to need another retro bait. I'm sticking with this phrase. I rather like it. Should we get him out, Swappers?
Oh, go on then.
Okay, so let's get him out. No, I'm not going to go there. I've got to be very careful with my methodology here. So next up, he's the wise elder of the channel. His dark web username is Mandalorian. He wears 3 socks in bed. Yes, you know who it is now. He's our resident director, the great mega geek himself, Ian David Diaz.
Hello.
Mega geek, how you doing, sir?
I'm all right. I'm doing good. What the hell is that picture you've got there, Swappy? What
That is
Elizabeth
the
Bottom.
that is an exemplary image of modern day beauty. I'll have you know. Thank you very
Is
much.
that not, I was going to say digital blackface or as digital arse face. I don't know what you'd call it, but we're treading a fine line tonight, folks. But hey,
we definitely
you're not gonna keep a good man down. And yes, I hope no one's having the supper while they're watching this. That's all I'm going to say. Ian, whenever I see these remarkably horrendous episodes, I always think, can't wait to hear what Ian's got to say about this one. And
Yeah.
I'm sure you've got a lot to say, but just sum it up in one word. Give me one golden word. I know you're going to have a lot more opportunities, but give me what comes to the top of your head when you think about tonight's episode?
shite. That's what.
Shite. There we go, folks.
There you go.
Shite. Okay, we could be for an all-time low score. We'll see. But believe it or not, we've still got another guest to come out, and it's not Brownie. Spoiler alert! It's not Brown. He's got his pants around his ankles, and he's playing with himself in the green room. But there's one more to come. I'm going to bring him out. He is. Let me get his intro because I want to do this guy justice. We see the good inside our next guest. He is in the top 10 ASMR channels under the category Young, Hot, Sexy British Twink. He is the YouTube rising star. He is the brain of the channel. It's the Dark Lord Sith Jord. Hello, Dark Lord Sith Jord. How you doing, sir?
Good evening. How are you?
Oh, very good, sir. And like I said to Ian, I think of all of you, and I think the worse the Mando is, the better the stream is. And I know, as someone who likes to really scrutinize plot, you must have had an absolute ball of a time, or a
That wasn't
ball
any-
ache of a time.
What was I supposed to be? Because I have no idea where I am with this one. As I was saying backstage, I watched 20 minutes of it. I went to watch Mario. I came back. I watched the other 20 minutes of it. I've seen Jack Black twice in a day. And I don't actually have a clue what happened in this episode, so I'm probably going to be useless. And I have a cold, which just tops it all off.
Well, it sounds like you're in the perfect shape to get stuck into it tonight, because let's face it, anyone who's watched this episode, no matter how many times you've seen it, still hasn't got a fucking clue what was going on. But we'll work it out together. It always makes more sense with the Brown Alliance boys and the stills and the chat. So we're gonna go through this together. It's like an AA club for. For Star Wars fans of old. That's how we'll treat it. But I know Brownie always wants me to stick to the script, so I will formally conclude the introductions by saying this episode was called Chapter 22, Guns for Hire. or buns for hire if we're looking at Swapshop's rather appalling image. It was written rather embarrassingly by Jon Favreau. I'm surprised he put his name to that. It was directed by the delightful Bryce Dallas Howard, and I think we're ready to rock. Should we get this shit show on the road? Should we do it? Okay. Mando poster, extremely small font, even smaller because it's above the Mando poster. Don't know what it says. Hopefully you do. Probably something like subscribe, flash the cash, flash your tits, that kind of thing. Mando opening credits, and then it is Guns for Hire. That's the chapter we're dealing with tonight. 22 we're up to. We'll be into triple digits soon, folks. And well, I recall, did we start with a? Oh no, we do. I thought we start with some flashback scenes or some recap scenes.
Whoever did the slides decided not to bother with the recap.
Oh well, good.
I can give you a quick recap, but there's 8 points. Do you really want me to go into detail? It's going to take about 2 minutes.
Go on. No, set us up, Brian, because we're in for a big one. Set us up, if you would.
Right, seemingly, this is what we need to know. Okay, Botox Karen and her crew once rescued Baby Yoda and Mando. Number 2, her crew abandoned her and became mercenaries with the stolen fleet. Number 3, squid heads exist. Number 4, Mando won the Darksaber in combat with Gus Fring, aka Moff Gideon. Number 5, Botox Karen needs the Darksaber if she wants to rule Mandalore. And number 6, she can only do that if she wins the Darksaber in combat. Trouble is, Mando has it. Number 7, Mando was beaten by Discount General Grievous. And number 8, Botox Karen beat Discount General Grievous, so could there be a loophole the size of Lineker's tax arrangements, allegedly?
And will it take them 45 minutes to remember that exists? Yeah.
Has anyone else noticed the previously on Mandalorian is getting longer and longer and longer for each episode, as though they're having to explain more and more and more to make any fucking sense of what we're about to witness. But Brian, you did a much better job than the actual show. What are we looking at? We're looking at some strange new ship, aren't we? I thought it was the head of some kind of droid to begin with. But any thoughts on the ship design? Anyone?
Looks okay. Looks like a bug, doesn't it? Like a
At first glance, I thought it was the side of Admiral Hatbar's head, and the front bit was his eye.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Oh, Akbar, it's a trap, he
You
said.
are probably looking at the best bit of the episode right here.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
And it was ripped off from A New Hope, or Star Wars as we all know it.
So we switch from that strange-looking ship to something more familiar. It's an Imperial ship. Is it a Star Destroyer, a form of Star
it's a
Destroyer?
light
One of
cruiser,
you
I think they
geeks will
call it.
know. There we go. The chords all over it, folks. I mean, okay, so far we're like, okay, ship, space, we like it. This is the kind of thing we tune in for. And then this is where it gets interesting, isn't it? We go inside the ship to find... Now, I don't know what this species is. Is it the squidhead species, whoever squidhead is?
Go on,
Does anyone
Zee.
know the species?
It's
He knows.
a squid head thing.
I've never seen.
It
I've
is
never
squid
seen
head
this in
species.
Star
It is,
Wars
yeah.
before. I've never
Quarren,
seen
I
this.
believe.
I think we have.
You have
Warren.
Yeah, absolutely.
Return of the Jedi, yep.
Oh, was it in Return of the Jedi?
Yeah, I had the toy way back.
Oh, I see. I don't remember this character at all.
They look a bit different. They do look a bit different.
Willie or won't he is already showing good form for tonight. He says, "Imagine being fondled by a squid head's chin danglers." I mean,
Oh, so I am.
you've put that image on our head, Willie. Thanks for that. But we find out that this strange creature's in a goldfish bowl of some sort, don't we? He's actually is the idea here that he has to do that? Oh, sorry. I'm misgendering people already. Please don't demonetize me as a total accident. She, I presume, it sounds like a female. We don't know. It's not been established. Let's just call it a them. Are they? Do they need to go in this glass thing, or is it recreation? Or anyone want to explain? I don't know.
I don't know the full I don't know the full details, but I remember last week Robot Head made a good point about Gory and Shand, the seaweed pirate. He said, basically he asked, what would a sea creature be doing in space? But what he didn't know is, well, they don't have underwear. They do have fish tanks in space. So that clears that one. Well done, Lucasfilm.
Yes. And then we switch from the... we're light on slides tonight, but never mind.
I think the intervening is that they think that they've been attacked by or hailed by an Imperial ship, so they say, we didn't realize there was an Imperial warlord that we needed to pay off, sorry. And then they're told, we're not a warlord, and they say, okay, sorry, we didn't mean to offend you, we didn't realize there were Imperials, but we'll happily pay for your protection, and they said, we're not Imperials either, and then you cut to the next slide, and then they say, we're not Imperials, they're Mandalorians, because... Is that Gus Fring's ship from when he was captured? Is that how they've got it?
Yeah, that's they stole in episode chapter 11.
That was the one.
See, he's got a cold, folks, but he's still on the goddamn ball. That's why we have him on here. He's so goddamn good. So plot twist, we go inside what we think is the Imperial ship, and what do you know, it's full of bloody Mandos. And in fact, we find out that they're there to actually intercept this ship and someone on the ship, and it was... It devolves into a rather comedic opening scene. I mean, Mega Geek, I'm absolutely dying to get some thoughts on this. So what do you make of this opening and the romance that we're about to witness between two of these kind of sea creatures?
And he's on mute.
YouTube's muted him already. They're in fear of what he's about to say.
I was in the middle of getting dressed while this scene was happening, and so I just looked over to see that these two weird creatures were sort of face, I can't say, oh no, shit, face,
fondling.
Yeah, that face fondling, that's the one we'll go with.
Face fondling.
And I looked at it, I
nice
thought,
alliteration.
Yeah, it's the Mandalorian again, and then I moved on and got dressed again.
I quite like the way the captain went, basic is not my native tongue, and then proceeded to speak faultless English. Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, so we often say we don't get enough aliens and droids. I mean, this episode is jam-packed with aliens and droids, but they all seem to conveniently speak English, or basic, rather. So we've got this Mandalorian crew, including, what's the chick behind them? Mercedes, the old WWE wrestler. What, say again, Z?
That's Cosca Reeves.
That's the one.
If
Brownie was here, I would ask him a question, but he's not. So I'm going to pick on...
1 out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
Dear.
But it's the wrong one, Brown. I want to ask you about this one, this sexy little thing.
She didn't look too wet after the water disappeared, did she?
Oh.
No, that was...
If I had my way, she'd be wet. Moving on.
Oh, Brown.
Oh, welcome to demonetizing your own stream.
He's seeing how quickly he can get demonetized with the minimal amount of wordage. So yes, they reveal that they're actually there to intercept the ship, and this is the romantic scene. Are you able to contribute here, Mega Geek? I want to know what you thought of this heartfelt romantic scene between two lovers who are being torn apart. What do you make of it?
Just made me laugh because the I don't know. I just laughed because they're two really weird creatures and they're going, I love you, and blah blah. I was like, this is ridiculous. Absolutely, it just looks stupid as far as I was concerned. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm, the R word against aliens. You know what I mean?
Yes, so, maybe you're being discriminatory. And everyone deserves love.
They do, and I bet their bed smells of fish.
Oh, damn it. I was going to say, we're allowed to say that these people have vaginas that smell like fish because they are fish, but you stole it, so I can't.
My word, what a strong smell of halibut.
That's just what turned on.
And I was rather touched by this scene. I don't know what you're all mocking it for. We need to represent all kinds and all preferences, and these two clearly in love. And what did I miss here? One is a prince. Did I hear that right?
He's a prince. Yeah, Fish Face is a prince. Yeah,
the son of a
okay.
Mon Calamari thingy. But it's another Filoni story of the kidnapped son, kidnapped child again. It's just. And yet another one. It's got about 3 different tropes that Filoni seems to use, and now Favreau is taking it from Filoni.
There's that, but also a load of this episode really does feel like mishmashed bits of quests from Knights of the Old Republic. So there's bits in Knights of the Old Republic where you have these kind of stowaways that you have to try and protect, and there's other bits where you would go into a place to try and solve a murder mystery, as they do later on in the droid bar. And there's another bit where the whole thing feels like side quests from a game, but not good side quests, the kind they would cut from the final release because they're really quite cringe. They're nothing like KOTOR's sort of top tier stuff where you have to rescue a protocol droid from a woman who is implied to be fucking it. So that's superior to this stuff, I think.
Also, do you see that bit where the one of them had a drink in the beginning, and they walk up to the thing and they pour the drink in the water, and this little fish.
Yes.
I was like, what's the point of the drink? They might as well just kill the fish and just chuck it in there because he was going to eat it anyway. Do you know what I mean?
I thought that they were essentially pouring a drink in with the water, but was it not a small fish as well? And then it ate the fish.
So what's the point of? They might as well just kill the fish and just chuck it in there because she was going to eat it anyway, right? So there's no point in it being in the glass. It's like, what a waste. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
We've traditionally had jokes whenever there've been like aquatic species on screen, haven't we? Ever since Mandalorian started, and that first season we had. When Mandalorian's ship got dunked in the ocean, we had that Mon Calamari standing on the dock, like in a like a Pringle bloody cable knit sweater. And then we've got.
I watched that again the other day, and he's the one. He's standing, looking disapprovingly on his little space dock thing as this crashing ship comes down toward him, and you think, I wouldn't be standing within 20 feet of where this is going to land, but he's just there as this thing crashes down toward him, and only by a feat of editing work does it instead collapse into the water.
Yeah,
I think we're. Generally we all have a fondness and a love for Lucas and everything he did, but where he maybe went wrong slightly is where he got a bit too close to the real world. And the scene I often think about is, oh god, the character's name's lost me now. I think it was Attack of the Clones where they go the cafe. What's his name? That guy.
That was his love letter, though. At least there was a point to that. That was his love letter to what's the actor's name? Famous old actor, 40s and 50s, black and white films. Quite fat, often played a bartender. Basically the same character model. So even when Lucas was doing quite sort of real world inspired things, he was doing it to kind of aid the genre piece that he was creating. He wasn't just saying, let's do Romeo and Juliet with fish.
Yeah, well, there's a couple more incidents in this episode. We will get to them, obviously, but
George Lucas did get told off for all that stuff, didn't he? He made that flying bug thing like a Jewish guy, and do you know what I mean? And stuff like that. Yeah. So and he got slaughtered by the critics, didn't he, about that, didn't he?
What's all?
Brownie wants you all you man babies. We're over 100, by the way. Unbelievably, people are tuning in to hear this shit. So we've got to keep entertained, folks. Brownie wants you all to not just press the like button. He wants you to smash it. So use your forehead, use your man boobie, whatever you've got to hand to smash that like button and destroy your laptop. Also, drinking games on tonight, folks. Whenever you hear a reference which could be deemed sizist in any way or referring to someone's body shape, take a large drink. Whenever you hear Ian just say it's fucking stupid, take a large drink. So get stocked up for that one. Brian doing a stupid accent. Z getting horny over another droid. If Lord Chord starts sneezing in the background because he's struggling tonight. And what have we got for swappers? Well, just his avatar for tonight will do. Just take one big drink for that, to be honest. Okay, so we've got this little romance going on, and we're told here that actually they need to rescue the prince, or not rescue him. He's actually a bounty, isn't he? I think his family paid for him to be retrieved. Was that right?
Don't know. Oh yeah,
Something like that.
Yeah. I think that guy said it. Then the English guy said it, didn't he? In the ship, yeah, the English Mandalorian fella,
Axe Woves, who claimed he's loyal as hell, apart from being the absolute diametric opposite.
Yeah.
And then we where are we now? We're Earth. We're going to Earth, folks. Get ready. In fact, most of this episode sets in the Eden Project, you'll all be pleased to know. So we're looking forward to visiting that one. Here it is.
Plaza
we're going
15.
To the Eden Project. But just before we depart that amazing Romeo and Juliet with the two fishy characters, he sadly he was whisked away from his lover, wasn't he? And
well, that story's going to come back, isn't it?
I'm sure it was in there for a reason. I mean, they wouldn't have just put a pointless fucking scene in for no reason whatsoever. I'm sure.
No, that's nothing like what the Mandalorian does every week.
No. Hello to I feel as though the name could be a joke, but I'm not sure. Amber Sidaway. Am I missing something, or am I just that skeptical now about names?
I think you're just
don't
skeptical.
blame you. Yeah, don't blame you.
Amber, I apologise if I'm second guessing your name, but she says
your
this
name must
stream...
be a joke.
It must be a joke, for God's sake. No one's called Amber Sidaway. This stream is my favourite way to watch The Mandalorian. I think we've got to the point now where most of the chat are not watching The Mandalorian. They're just turning up to watch us shit over a load of stills of The Mandalorian. What a time to be alive, folks. This is what it's come to.
It's reaching Batwoman territory where we will soon become the Mandalorian's largest devoted fan base, I think.
Yeah.
Points of clarification from Amber Sidaway. Not a joke, it's just my name. Sorry, Amber. Do please unlike and unsubscribe.
Or just look at the other names that are going to pop up in chat over the course of the stream. You'll understand why we were skeptical.
Again, the effects were really good in this. You know, you can't really fault the effects. You can fault the script, but you can't fault the effects. The effects are really top notch in this.
Mission for the chat, because I want you putting the effort in tonight. Alternative puns and names for Amber Sidaway, if you would please. I'm sure.
That's me, and we can't buddy chat.
Brown's pinging me like mad. Don't do that, for God's sake. Amber, it's all love. You know, it's all love. Your favourite man baby loves you. So here we are, Eden Project. Fantastic Botox Karen ship. And I don't know, thoughts on this world, Brian? Let's get your thoughts. I mean, looks a bit like Scotland, doesn't it? But without all the litter and migrants. What do you think of this?
Oh dear!
Am I in trouble already?
Yeah, it reminds me of the Scenic Centre. I think Melvin deeply know what I'm talking about in Glasgow. I was going to say the Louvre, but it's a bit too rounded and breast-like for that. Do you know, one of the strange things here, the voiceover when they're in the cockpit, it says that the planet is called the Outer Rim's only direct democracy. Right, so see if it's a direct democracy. Why is Christopher Lloyd's character amassing battle droids?
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
he's a separatist, right, who wants a democracy.
Yes,
he's on an Outer Rim planet where the Republic doesn't exist, and it's a democracy. So what the fuck is he doing?
It's because it's bad writing again.
It is, but they also periodically forget that the planet isn't part of the Republic, because they offered to pitch to the Republic to recognize Mandalore at some point during this episode, omitting the fact that they are not themselves, as far as I understand, a member of the Republic. But yeah, when it gets to that end scene, when he's been, we'll get there. But like my reaction to that was just, well, then why? The place is already exactly what you wanted it to be, and I thought I must have missed something which explained his weird. Well, yeah, we're jumping ahead, but I thought I missed something, but I gather I didn't.
Absolutely.
I'm not
missing
reading
a good
out
script.
Smilex's comment.
That's the thing. That's what we're missing. It's just a good script. This is just nonsense. The whole episode's nonsense.
There you go. Take a drink, folks. He's there. He's gone early. So I'm not reading, Brown. Get that off the screen quick. I'm not reading that out. That's going to get us in trouble. But we have had a contribution for Amber's name. I'm Wimbaway, I Wimbaway, I Wimbaway, and Sid away, I'm a Wimbaway, a Wimbaway. So there you go, Amber. He went to all that effort and he got your first name wrong. It's not Anne, it's Amber.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, Flat Planet, bit of a kind of weird tit dome-like thing, and Botox Karen. Is Botox Karen starting to carry this goddamn show? What do you, Swappers? What do you think?
She's front and center pretty much the whole time, isn't she? Like Dingerin's kind of pushed to the side. We're kind of forgetting about him a bit. He's a bit of a sidekick now, and he's pushed to the back. And whenever she's on screen, she's the one in the center of the screen, right at the front, in the limelight. She's got all the lines, and all the lines and none of the facial expressions, sadly.
Also, the fact that they shoved in our face in the very beginning in the what happened in the other episodes, how many times she rescued him. Do you know what I mean? So, obviously they're I just think that they're going to drop him and make her the Mandalorian going forward. That's what I think.
Up until right at the end of this episode, he's basically been reduced to comic relief thug sidekick.
Yeah.
That's all he does. He just quips occasionally, kicks things, and stands around looking, well, I say looking nonplussed, as much as you can look nonplussed through a helmet. That's what he looks like.
Yeah.
Can anyone do a good impression of the flute noise from The Mandalorian?
No.
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 Oh, God.
No.
No, that was a bad one.
This is the Sid away. This is the way.
I quite
there's
love
another
the way
one for
that
you,
some
Amber.
administrator on this planet thought it'd be a good idea to have a landing jingle. It's rather amusing.
That's right. I completely forgot about that. Yeah.
I thought my phone was going off because I sort of drifted off at this part of the episode, and then this weird little jingle comes on. I thought, what the fuck? What have I downloaded an app that I don't remember? But no, it's actually in the show. It just sounds like it's coming through your phone.
Andy Masterson he's done with Star Wars. Tonight was the final straw.
Not with the stream.
Not with the stream, just the Star Wars. I think many of us have been done for a long time, but that's why we turn up. We are kicking the corpse down the road, so to speak. Tim had a bomb, I'll say it because Brownie loves to say it. This show sucks, I have spoken. And what have we got here? Obi-Wan Darkside. This show will now be known as the Karen DeLorean. Yes, it is the Bo-Katan show, folks, isn't it? He's absolutely right.
It is indeed.
So Bo-Katan, obviously, Mando might as well sit in the fucking lap like Baby Yoda. He's such a passenger here, but she takes the ship in, but then doesn't it get, I don't know if it's a tractor beam, but it's somehow...
It's not even that. It's actually something much more useful. They take full control of the ship to make it land, so they don't just tractor it in. Botox Karen actually says they've taken control of the ship, which just makes me think, well, if you can do that, why doesn't every big capital ship have that ability? Like, how easy would it have been if the Empire could just control your ships from their Star Destroyer? But, we don't need these things to be consistent with themselves.
If they're not allowed firepower, that might be one way of keeping themselves safe, getting under the radar.
Oh, no, it's
still
definitely
crap.
It's very useful for them, I'm sure. Yeah, my problem is that it's very useful in a huge number of different settings and scenarios where it's never ever been used and won't ever be used again. So all power to them for having it, but everyone else should probably have it too.
Kirantos says it's law-breaking bullshit.
Yeah, I would agree.
Again, look at the effects. I mean, when they land on that place and gosh, they must have spent a lot of money on those effects because those effects are really, again, I'd say top notch. Even for a movie, it's incredible. I think it's a shame that that's the only good thing about this show. It really is. Never mind.
See, and people say we're negative, Ian, but we always give credit where it's due, don't we?
Exactly.
And,
exactly.
Z, I'm going to need you for this next one. Can you read out this next message in 3, 2, 1, go?
Princess Fiona in the chat says, "That's no moon, it's Lizzo."
Oh no, we can't go there. Get rid of it, Brown. We can't do that kind of thing. Take a drink, everyone. We've not even got to Lizzo, and the chat is already beside themselves. Abject Mediocrity says Lizzo is so insufferable. She's a she's a defense in herself.
But they wouldn't need technology to take control of the ship because she acts as a gravity well.
Maybe those domes are modelled on her backside.
They are her
good lord.
backside.
In the chat, let me know what you're drinking tonight. Kierantos is on the Guinness. Brownie's on the crack cocaine in the green room. Brian's on the iron brew. Anyone else? Lord Chord's on the Lemsips, I think.
No, I'm on the whiskey, actually, but it's the same thing, really.
Fair play to you, sir.
I'm currently drinking tea, sir. I'm trying to get the taste of Uncle Owen out my mouth.
No, we can't make those references. Don't do it. What else have we got? Another Lizzo comment. Might as well get him out the way now. Swappers, will you do the honours, please?
Dan Gulyasak in the chat says, "Just get Lizzo to sit on the bad guys, for fuck's sake."
You say we're getting these out of the way, but she's not even on the screen yet, so they're just going to come back later.
Not yet.
It's brilliant. This it just keeps. This is the episode that keeps giving. It's brilliant. So they remote control. Bring them into the landing area, which is, as they often like to do, miles away from where they actually need to be, as we're going to find out in a moment. But they bring them into the kind of docking point area.
Sorry, can I ask a question? Have we ever seen joysticks on a Star Wars ship before?
I think it doesn't. The X-wing that Luke pilots in A New Hope.
No, I don't think it's a joy. Is it a joystick?
I think it's just the one though, so it's not a double set, but it's the basic sort of single.
Because I know on Han Solo's ship, the Millennium Falcon, he doesn't have a joystick. He seems to be pressing switches or something. I don't know what he's doing, but I'm just surprised to see Xbox joysticks on a ship.
I think I've actually got one of those when I play X-Wing Alliance.
Because as I said, I've never seen joysticks on a ship before in Star Wars, or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
The chat is absolutely alive tonight. Franco says they need those domes to fit Lizzo in, and Dave Dissect says if there's a bright center to the universe, Lizzo is the furthest from it. Good God, it's going to be... Wait till she's actually on screen. It's going to be an absolute shit show. But, okay, so they dock... Credit where it's due, we love this ship. I think we all agree on that, don't we? We actually do love this ship. It looks great, whether it's flying, whether it's landing or docked or wherever it may be.
They messed it up, though, because the others have the same ship, don't they?
Yeah, it's a stolen fleet, but they've just stolen the exact same model of ship.
Yeah, it doesn't make it special anymore now.
It is a little bit Jedi Starfighter.
It is a bit, yeah.
Edge of the Sith.
I think this just goes to highlight how absolutely useless the N1 Starfighter is.
By the way, did you like that black droid, by the way, Z?
Easy.
Indeed. And let's remember, black droids matter.
That's right. You see, he fell right into my trap. I knew he was going to say that.
Walked into that one. The listening fat's back with us, folks. We're so honoured to have him. I don't know what his comment means, but I always love his contributions. I hope it's not a threat. I don't know what that means. So we're docked. We're ready to go into the Eden Project. I've never been. I'm excited. And
I have. There's a giant plant that looks like a penis in there.
Uh-oh.
No.
All got genitalia on the mind. What's wrong with you all? So we're greeted by... Well, we have to go to Z. There's only one man we can go to here. Is it a protocol and astromech, I presume?
No,
and they're Imperial, I believe.
Death Star droid and an astromech.
Death Star droid. Wow.
So I don't know where they picked those up from, but they certainly shouldn't be there.
And I mean, this is a bit of a theme for the episode. Not that it deals in such intricacies as theme and logic, but these are Imperial droids, I believe, converted for domestic use or civil use. I don't know. Okay, set it up for us, Z. What the fuck's going on with the droids in this episode?
I have absolutely no idea, sir. There's so many different types, and I don't know how they all got there. But it's very pleasing to see them all. But if this is one of the isolated planets on the Outer Rim, they sure have a lot of battle droids.
They do. Well, the argument that they use is that otherwise these have been sent away and smelted, but because they've managed to turn Droid into sort of automated workforces, it means that nobody else on the planet has to work anymore. So that's why they sort of keep all the old weapon droids around with them. The other thing this episode reminded me of, isn't there an episode of the 13th Doctor, Jodie's Doctor, where they go to this Amazon warehouse, which is entirely staffed by robots that malfunction?
Yeah.
Kablam, yes.
Yes. I thought there was.
Terrible episode. Terrible show.
Ponty Paul asks, do not Brian, Z, and Swappers have YouTube channels? I've found the others.
Yeah, so Swappers has a channel.
Swappers got a channel.
Yeah, it's Demon Side Synthwave, not Swapshop. So you might.
Demon Side Synthwave. He has to work under different pseudonyms for legal reasons. But, yes. Brian, I believe, is just really the star of this show, aren't you, Brian? You.
I don't know if star's an accurate thing to say. Industrial nomad, possibly.
And Z, do you just the OnlyFans? Is it? You don't do YouTube anymore?
I don't have a YouTube channel at present, sir, but I am looking into it.
Oh, you should so do it, Z.
Oh, yes.
I have a YouTube channel. I only post one video a year, folks, but I am reliably informed I'm going to have to release my trilogy on YouTube. It's Star Wars not interested anymore. So they get into this, what do we call it? Like a monorail type thing?
Yeah, it's very Logan's Run, isn't it? All that stuff. It reminded. Remember Logan's Run? The special. It kind of reminds me of that. So I don't know if it was like a tribute to them. I don't know, but
off topic, but Little Platoon, you poor bastard! Did you watch all of Jodie Whittaker's run?
No, I watched JX's run through of Jodie Whittaker's run, so I know roughly what happens, but I wasn't going to sit through it.
And it's first season 1 for me. That was it. I had enough after season 1.
He's not a flagellant, for God's sake. You know, he has got some taste. So they get into this thing. Baby Yoda's in his little cot. He's just along for the ride. Was there any point to Baby Yoda in this episode? I'm trying to recall. Was he? He just felt like he was kind of just.
He gets knighted at the end.
He does, yeah.
He does get knighted.
I wish I
my
was
God.
making this up, but no, he's now Sir Baby Yoda of planet whatever the fuck.
He does that flip, doesn't he, when he sees food?
Also
like,
that, yeah.
Yeah, that bit made me laugh, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah. So this thing takes off like Rita and Alton Towers. If you've been there, just from a standing start, goes absolutely hell to the leather. And then we arrive in the Eden Project, don't we? And what's the thoughts? Go on, Mega. Give us the thoughts on the design of this city, this domed city.
It's as said. It's very much. It reminds me of Logan's Run. Logan's Run had actually they stole that footage. Or I think Buck Rogers stole the footage for the TV show. But yeah, it's very much like that, isn't it? But the thing is that the effects again. The effects are top notch, even when they're sitting in there, and the background's going by and stuff like that. It just looks like they're there, So again, I would hats off to the visual effects guys. They've been doing a sterling job.
I think it borrows a bit from iRobot as well.
Yes,
not just the aesthetic, but there's also the sequence with the droid that they discover and it runs off, and the whole chase sequence that follows it's borrowing a lot of stuff. It's just a shame that and I'm usually fine with that, but you do actually have to tell a good story with it. You can't just steal things and then make it all worse.
You're referring to that scene where there was thousands of them, and Will Smith had to go and see which one was sentient.
Yeah, and then he finds it, and then it runs off, and then he has to chase it.
Yeah. It's a bit of a copy. Yeah. There you go.
Princess Fiona says Logan's bum.
Well done, Princess.
I'm not going any further with that pun. So we are walking down corridors, which is very Star Warsy, and then I believe we then enter. At first, I thought it reminded me of the scene in Empire on Cloud City where Darth Vader invites them all to dinner, but very rapidly it turned more into Canto Bight, which I was so excited for. Swappers, what do you make of this scene? It was the dinner table full of aliens and plants and various things.
I honestly didn't quite really know what to think. I was sort of still dumbstruck, to be honest with you, at what the fuck I was watching to begin with. But we got these like what are they? Stormtroopers with like
without the helmets,
with Alice in Wonderland style Queen of Hearts outfits on, without the helmets, standing on either side, carrying sticks. And when have we ever seen this in Star Wars ever, other than the shit sequel trilogy? So, I think it's pretty obvious the direction they're going in with this show, and it's pretty much beyond hope, isn't it? Now, if they're showing this off halfway through the season or towards the end of the season, then we're not going to get any improvements after this.
Yeah. It's also it's not worth watching the episode just to appreciate how bad the acting in these scenes is. But there are clips of it on Twitter where you can go and see how bad the acting in these scenes is. It's actually probably on a par with some amateur dramatics thing you can see in a local village theatre. It really is fucking abysmal. I have no idea how they thought, this'll do.
Also, I don't understand what's going on the table. So they have this big creature in a big glass thing above them, and then all these straws come down, and it's connected to all the people that are eating on the table. So are they eating that creature in the bowl at the top? Or
yes,
is
well,
that...
I think they're the... Because Jack Black actually says, I hope you like secretions.
Oh, so they're drinking...
The secretions of that animal, yes.
Oh, I see. Okay, so I was just wondering how that works, basically. So, but
Dodgily.
Anyway,
I've got to go with this comment, folks. This happened to be the best scene in the world, but it's just a tribute. Yes, it's Jack Black and it's Lizzo, folks. So let's set the chat on fire. We have our first glimpse, or I say glimpse. I mean, she's
who is she, by the
pretty
way?
much in everyone's eye line, no matter where you're looking. It's Lizzo.
Who is she?
Who is Lizzo? I don't know. Mega, does any Lord Chord maybe he's down with the kids? Who's Lizzo?
An American, I was going to say musician, but that's completely wrong. Ostensibly, she is, I think, an American musician with also a fashion line which promotes very, very. It's Swapshop's profile picture. She promotes fashion for morbidly obese people, and claims that this is a sign of body positivity and that it's healthy for people to be like this. They gave her. Was it Thomas Jefferson, the famous Thomas Jefferson, has a crystal flute, which has never, ever been touched or played by anyone, ever, because it's one of the most priceless artifacts in any American museum. They gave it to her to play for the first time ever on stage. So Thomas Jefferson's crystal flute has been blown by Lizzo, and he is rolling his grave in pain.
So is she that? So I'm getting confused. Is this woman the woman? I saw a picture of this big fat woman going on a plane. That's not her, is it?
It is.
Yeah, that's her.
It's her. Oh, okay.
It's Swappers. Look at Swappers' profile picture.
Yeah,
It's got these
I know.
Massive flabby arse cheeks.
That's what I'm saying. I was just like,
Oh, no.
God.
So it's
Look
her
at it.
then.
It's like two badly parked Volkswagen Beetles.
So is she a famous model or something, or
she's a musician. She doubles as a model with a fashion range, so she's a mix of everything. But she was for a time. I think she's slightly faded out of public consciousness, maybe not, judging by chat. But she was for a time. She was very famous, largely for that photo, because she was held up as this icon of body positivity, and that this is health. This is a healthy way to be. We should celebrate it, because people rightly took the piss out of that photo, and then the entire sort of leftish media establishment went to bat for Lizzo. By saying that there's nothing wrong with being morbidly obese. You're not going to die before you're 50.
Clues in the word morbid. Really, isn't it?
So it seems like if you're stupid and have stupid logic, then you become famous in Hollywood now. That's what it seems like to me. It's just really weird, isn't it?
I think she's only there to make Jack Black look slim.
Objective achieved. Yeah, someone said it earlier obviously the chat's on fire at the moment, that if you'd have shown someone this scene, they would never have believed it was from Star Wars, and it looks about as far from Star Wars as it gets. Can anyone explain what is the thing behind Lizzo? It follows her around. It's some kind of hologram. Does anyone know what the...
I think it's there to cover her bottom, isn't it? So you can't see how big it is. I think
Or
so.
it's some sort of gravity support device that allows her to stand.
Yeah. But it does look, the sets are really nice. There's nice color in there. I mean, just being positive for a bit. The
Yes.
set's well designed. The costumes are quite colorful. Blah blah
body
blah.
positive.
No body positive. Come on,
All
she's
right.
overweight. She's overweight. She's giving a bad example.
It's a lifestyle choice. It's she's probably got about 10 years. It's fine. Brian, Princess Fiona, would you do the honors, please?
We can't repel cellulite of this magnitude.
Very good, Princess. Very good.
Very good.
Just sticking on positive, just briefly, that there's a hint of a good idea in what they're trying to do, because his background, Jack Black's background, is that he used to work for the Empire. He went through their rehabilitation program. He's now gone because this planet used to be part of the Empire, and he's gone as part of his rehabilitation to help rebuild it and to turn it into this direct democracy. That's not the good idea, because that's basically saying that you're putting your abuser in charge of your therapy session. But the good idea is that they are surprisingly consistently trying to portray the New Republic and everything around the New Republic as lapsing into what we know the New Republic becomes in the sequel trilogy. Now, that's a good idea in the name of consistency, but they do it in fairly quirky ways. This idea that complacency effectively recreates the worst features of the old empire, and that the Republic is doomed because everyone is too lazy and too comfortable and too fat and well fed to actually look at what they're doing to themselves, which is kind of the underlying message of this episode. There's some semblance of a good idea in there somewhere. It's just that everything else around it is utter shit.
Yes, I was actually got to this scene and I thought the New Republic have forgiven so many Imperials, it's no wonder the First Order came to power.
Zee, while I've got you, Zee,
Yes.
we are at 52 minutes 30 seconds. This is the moment we get demonetized. I'd like you to read this one out, please, Zee.
Pontypaul82 in the chat says, she is so large, two guys could
Beep.
make love to her at the same time and still never meet.
Excellently navigated, sir. Excellently
Was
navigated.
that line?
Oh, that's me.
Slap her thigh and ride in with the wave. That's another one, isn't it?
God.
Throw a bag of flour on her so you can find the wet spot.
That's another one as well. It's another one.
So we're having a nice. I mean, we're so fixated with who the hell Lizzo is and how body positive she is, but they are having a chat here about essentially how this city works. And we find out this character of Jack Black is a reformed imperialist. Is that how we'd describe him?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
and
the bit that I just spieled out, he went through their rehab program, and he's now elected king.
And obviously they're going to set up the side quest that's about to be revealed in a rather convoluted way. But yes, they explain they've got this whole thing going on where they're working with the Mandalorian gang, but they can't enter the city. Well, we're going to get into this shortly, I think, but. Yeah, is there anything else I'm missing? What's basically the droids? Droids are like essential to the daily runnings of the city, but we're about to find out one of the two of them have been going rogue.
It's the best depiction so far on screen of fully automated luxury communism, when robots do all the work and you just sit there being artistic. And actually, Jack Black uses that line. Citizens turn themselves to artistic pursuits and other things because all of the menial labor is done by robots. Which is again, you can do really fascinating things with that as a premise. It's just that this episode doesn't really, but at least the premise is there.
Thing is, though, I never used to think about the droids having any kind of life other than to serve, the humans, so to speak, in the Star Wars universe. And it's this kind of trash that's kind of added another dimension to them, which really is not needed, really, is it? If you take my drift.
Yeah, the kind of droid rights.
Yeah, and all that.
Brian, while we've got you, can you just read out this doozy from Ida Bar Gaddix? Bar Gaddix.
Ida Bar Gaddix. I can't even say it. How many drinks have I had? Ida Bar Gaddix in the chat says, if it looks like Lizzo, you might struggle to jizzo. Fuck that as a demonetization. Sorry, Brown.
It's gone brown, but we've still got 126 retrobates following the party, following the fun.
Hopefully that laugh would cover that word.
Yes,
YouTube wouldn't notice it.
They would. Yes, we've got away with that one. So we've moved from the dinner table and into the, I don't know what you call it, like the comms center, the security center. I don't know, but the bald head that you're seeing is unbelievably. Hold on to your childhood memories. It's Christopher Lloyd, and anyone who's not seen the episode, which many who sit through this debacle each week don't seem to have, may be shocked that not only did we have the tremendous full figure of Lizzo and Jack Black, we also had Christopher Lloyd in this episode. Who can give us a quick synopsis of what the character of Christopher Lloyd was playing in this particular episode?
In the episode as a whole, or just in this scene?
Well, oh yes, I see what you're doing there. You're holding things back correctly.
At the moment,
yeah, set him up for what we know at this point in time.
Yeah, at the moment he's kind of head of security, and we know that he's got, he's involved with the droids and programming the droids into becoming docile plant servants, essentially. And he keeps a watch over everyone and everything. And he essentially enables everything on this planet to function as it does. Is what we know about him so far.
Great Scott.
There was I shared this on Twitter earlier because I was going through a couple of the reviews for this episode while I was in a taxi. Screen Rant, really, really reaching. But it noted that there were 3 celebrity cameos in this episode, and it found 2 reasons that the show could conceivably be called good. In the first place, it shows that new characters sometimes convey information to the audience, which is, yeah, okay, well done. And in the second place, they said that Lizzo, if you really think about it, is kind of like Padme.
What? Oh, brilliant.
The reasoning for that being that they were both queens, but both elected. So
one's bigger than the other, I know that.
Yes.
So,
yes, but Padme had twins.
Lizzo could eat several Padmes, but Padme certainly couldn't eat a full Lizzo. Robot Head's in the chat, folks. Star of last week's episode. And hero to us all, Robot Head. We love to hear it, and he's somewhat disappointed that he wasn't on this week because this was a new low, and I can't wait for your reaction video on that, Robot Head. So good to see you again, sir. So we are with Christopher Lloyd. There he is. There's his full frontal as such, shaved head look, and he's cracking on a bit now, isn't he? What is he?
He's in his 80s, isn't he?
He's in his 80s, yeah. But he's. I've got to say this, folks. Look, Back to the Future probably, up until recent years, was on a par with Star Wars. Now that Star Wars disgraced itself under Disney, Back to the Future is now standalone, my favourite ever franchise. I'm so pleased Bob Gale refuses to sell the rights, so we'll never see it destroyed like Star Wars. I have to say this, I love Christopher Lloyd. I didn't enjoy his performance. Has anyone...
Yeah, no, he was okay. I mean, I don't think he was bad. I just think obviously he needs the money, so that's why he's there. And also, it's only 2 stars in this because Lizzo's not really a star. Let's face it, she's just there because if you know what I mean.
Tragically, she probably has a bigger following than Jack Black. That's a guess, but I would be surprised if it weren't true.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, Jack Black I respect, and also I respect Chris Lloyd as well. You know, both amazing actors, as far as I'm concerned.
I hated the fact that he was in this, but after seeing him in 2015 with some of the celebrations for, obviously the Back to the Future 2 date, he looked quite kind of daughtery and delivering his lines, some of the things he said on stage. He just didn't look as if he was having a good time at all. And it was nice to see him back here. Not quite up to full strength, but doing well for an older lad.
He was good in Nobody, wasn't he? He was good in Nobody. He was in Nobody.
I'm glad to see him getting a bit of the Disney dime, but I don't know. Maybe I was just on a downer of this whole episode.
Full-on stereotype of the big red button kill switch.
Yeah.
that actually made me chuckle.
But the thing is, though, Chris Lloyd and Jack Black and all the stars that have been in Mandalorian, they don't really care about the content. They just care about the paycheck. It's obvious. If they did think a lot about what's been presented, they probably wouldn't do it if they didn't need the money. But it's obvious they need the money. That's why they're there. They don't care. So there you go.
Brian, I don't know if you've got this in your locker. Can you do a Doc Brown with this comment?
I'm not the best at double. Phil Ashley in the chat says,
Great Scott, Marty! Those asses 1.1 gigawatts of power!
It's Doc Brown if he was a Nigerian prince.
I think that's spelt gigawatts by the look of it, not gigawatts.
Gigawatts.
Yeah, gigawatts.
Oh no, you really fucked that one up, Brian. But I appreciate the efforts.
Sorry, Phil.
So there's the big red button. Just push it, Putin. We're all fucking done for. Just push the goddamn button. After today, I'm ready for it. Yeah, the button. Honestly, I did this episode. What does pushing the button at this point do? Can anyone remind me?
If he pushes the big red button, all the droids shut down, and society would collapse because nobody would know how to survive.
Oh,
Later.
so he's not pushing the button at the moment. He's just showing us what might happen. Is that
Just
right?
lightly fondling it, isn't he? I think.
Yeah, he's caressing the button. Okay. The Lizzo jokes are still going strong, folks. I've got a feeling it's another wok moment. We've got a few weeks worth out of this. Lizzo's outer rim is 3 days from her inner rim. There we go. Good work, Princess. Okay, so basically, we're on a side quest, aren't we? We're on a side quest, and Swappers, what? Just explain this goddamn side quest, because as best you can.
This, I genuinely thought I was watching a video game being played by somebody at this point when they go to this planet looking for her tribe of Mandos, and then they get saddled with this quest that they have to do before the plot can progress, right? And the whole time this is going on, I'm thinking, what about the fish people? What have they got to do with any of this? Thinking, did I miss something? Did I tune out for a little while there? Because let's face it, during Mando, that's pretty common to do. But they're sitting here talking to these Ugnaughts, which are the guys from Empire Strikes Back who are supposed to be droid experts, right? And they're traditionally they're supposed to be, according to Lucas and the films and everything, they're supposed to be just like thick people that just stick droids together, and then they're just low level intelligence sort of factory workers. That's all they're supposed to be. And QL from season 1 was just like an exception to the rule, I guess. Really, he's like a studious version of one of this race. And these are supposed to be just people that just sort of go at each other and make a droid. That's all they do. But suddenly, oh no, we can't have that anymore. That these are all like Cambridge students now, so they've all got to sit there and have an intelligent debate around the table. And to begin with, they're not listening to Bo-Katan. So I don't know if that's some kind of reverse sexism going on that she gets revenge on later on, because
I think it's
to the women.
No, but I think the Mandalorian said that there's a way to speak to them, isn't there? So he knew how to speak to them, and she was expressing it all wrong.
Yeah, the loose rule is that you have to be declarative, and that's what enables you to end every declarative sentence with "I have spoken," and that I think is supposed to imply that they respect you because you are definite in what you think, and there's no frills about what you say.
That's right. Yeah, I think we're experiencing the woman's eye view of a male world here, where they're always ignored whenever they go into a workship. So I think that might be something to do with it.
But slightly a bit of a stretch, but.
Yeah, it is a bit.
The entire thing's a bit of a stretch.
On the previous point, though, that you raised about the Mandalorians that they're trying to find, because that's the nominal purpose of this entire episode, is that they have to get to the Mandalorians who are currently landed with all of their fleet over on a field somewhere. They can't just go straight there because reasons. So they have to go on this long side quest in order to earn the right to go and see them. But their presence makes no sense whatsoever, because Jack Black's character explains that they pay them to defend them, and then in the next scene he says, we don't have any defenses, so that means we can spend all of our money on luxury. And then he says, but we pay the Mandalorians, who are really good mercenaries, to defend us instead. And then they say, well, they aren't allowed to come into the city to meet our main characters because the city's laws prohibit standing armies from arriving. But Bo-Katan and Mando are allowed in with all of their weapons because it's part of their culture. But then that means that the Mandalorians in the fields can come in and out if they want to on their own, so long as they don't come in as an army, because it's also part of their culture, does it not? So Yeah. Nothing about the episode really makes what you might call sense.
Yeah.
Bollocks.
That's a short way of it. Yeah.
That is
Another
true.
star cameo, Peter Dinklage here, someone points out.
This little guy actually reminded me of Ronnie Corbett. This is not the one about the Philly franchise.
Everyone under 35 has got no idea what you mean, Brian, but I appreciate the reference.
I've heard of Ronnie Corbett.
Oh, good on you, sir. Well, I know you like your retro British comedy, so you're an
Ronnie
outlier.
Corbett's, he's a legend, mate. He's a legend.
He's a legend.
a
Legend in his
legend,
own boxes. Point of technical point, the mouth of the Ugnaughts when they talk didn't seem right.
Really?
Did anyone else get that, or was it just
Wasn't in
just
sync like Captain Seaweed perform?
Yes, it was.
Gregorian
It
shit.
just, yeah. I thought they look. I mean, in the still, they look great, but when they spoke, yeah, it didn't look right for me. Either that or it was the dodgy stream I was watching it on, one or the other. But yes, we have this sexism from the Ugnaughts. They won't listen to Botox Karen. God damn them. But yes, we find out. I mean, I'm trying to piece together this fucking plot, and it's an absolute shit show. But essentially, some of these droids are going rogue, and Mando and Botox Karen have got to go on side quest number 47 to weed out the rogue droids because they can't use the normal Mandos because something to do with there's a law stopping them coming into the city. I'm trying to make sense of this, folks. You can't do it. I'm sorry.
Little Ugnaught Ronnie Corbett gave them a device to locate the droids that could be going mental next.
Oh, that's it. He gave them a predict the future device, which said
Yes.
this is where we think the next pre-crime will happen. Yes. More
didn't come in
plot
handy,
armor
did it?
than Beskar armor in this episode.
Did that come in handy? I can't remember. The episode was so awful.
It kinda did. Yeah,
All
but
right.
Mando sets about the droids here. Seen a wee
okay.
little moment.
We're holding steady in the 120s, folks. What have we got to do to shed the numbers? You know, I don't like going over 99, so we're going to have to up the ante and offend a few more people. So let's see what I can do over the next 4 hours. Anyway, we're just getting warmed up here, man babies. I've got my next rum and coke. It's a treble, so strap yourselves in. We're going to hit this one hard. So. We're about to get a load of member berries, aren't we? Especially when it comes to droids. Z, we've got what are those little
Attack of
skinny
the
ones
Clones.
called?
They're
From
called
Attack of the
battle
Clones, aren't
droids,
they?
sir.
Yeah.
Yes. We didn't get a Roger, did we? I was expecting it, but we didn't get it. I mean,
No, because the droids are from the earlier ones, but unfortunately they gave them the voices from Revenge of the Sith, which is when Lucas, for some inconceivable reason, turned them into childish, goony villains. And they sound awful, because in episodes 1 and 2 they have this flat, sort of monotone robot voice, as you would expect a droid to have. But yeah, then he turns them into these childish villains, and that's the voice they decided to give them for this show, which was just, it brought back bad memories.
If I may.
Yeah.
If I may.
Yeah.
Dramatic pause. The voice of this robot is done by Matthew Wood, who also voiced General Grievous. He's a sound engineer.
Nice bit of trivia. Very good. Time Prophet says 123 watching, only 82 have upvoted. Hit that button now. If you have not liked this video, if you like this video, I will release the Rian Johnson trilogy. If you need any more motivation, there you go. So please get to work, folks. It means a lot to old Brownie. There you go, Princess Fiona. That's all the encouragement you need. She'll get her tits out if you give enough likes. Anyway, hopefully that's not problematic. So we move on, and we've got Mando giving a bit of abuse to the droids here. What's he doing, Mega Geek? He's kicking shit out of the droid.
Well,
for some reason.
basically, it's I think it's a tribute to. You ever see those videos where they're kicking the robots, the real robots in real life?
Yes.
The Boston Dynamics ones,
to go back. So it's kind of like a tribute to that, but also as the Lloyd points out, it's kind of like a copy of that iRobot scene. But he wants to see if one of them is not programmed to do what they want to do, whether they will, get pissed off. And one of them did, didn't they? So, as he kicked one. So there you go. But I think that was the idea. It's kind of like in Blade Runner when you give the replicants all those questions.
Yes.
Yeah, kind of thing. But
perhaps you should have tried this on something smaller rather than a B2 Super Battle.
Yeah, exactly.
It probably twats him in the head. But the whole thing, this whole setup though, only sort of works because the episode this season's actually forgotten what little it did for Mando's character development in earlier seasons. It's decided that he hates droids again in this season. Even though he got over that, I think, in season 2 when he goes to Tatooine. And then he goes, obviously, earlier in this season to try and find IG-88, but then he decides, well, no, any old droid can do, so I'll take R5. It can't decide what Mando is as a character, what he thinks or what he believes. When it's convenient to the writers, he still has that sort of PTSD-inspired hatred of droids. But for the rest of the time, when that's not convenient, he's absolutely fine with droids. And it just shows how this is your main character, and you can't get the basics of what that character is consistent.
Also, the main character, he's always wrong. The what's her name? Karen Mandalorian always proves him wrong. Because when he goes into that bar with the robots, he says something, and then obviously he's wrong. And with this, he's kind of wrong, really. But and he doesn't even stop it. It's what's her name, Bo-Katan, that stops it in the end, isn't it? So,
yes, Mando never manages to achieve anything on his own.
No,
He's always got to rely on Botox Karen. So here he manages to, either antagonize a droid so much that it runs off, or he's discovered one of the rogue droids, and the pursuit starts now. I need to do a check though. I need to do a class register. Is Amber Sadaway still in the chat? I hope we didn't scare her off. We're having so much fun. Amber, please check in. We need a welfare check on Amber Sadaway, please. So it's pursuit time, folks. Is this a nice chase scene? Did anyone enjoy it?
Apart from the robot that was running looked a bit dodgy. That was the only bad effect in it, as far as I'm concerned. But sorry, carry on.
Yes, I quite like
more. Sorry, so you go.
No, you go ahead.
I was saying the battle droids tend to be a bit more stiff and immobile. Anyway, Z, sorry.
Well, I quite enjoyed that Bo-Katan actually used her jetpack to gain ground. Something that Mando actually didn't.
No, yeah.
Which was a bit stupid because they've both got them on. They could have caught this thing in seconds.
Yes. But she only used it to jump over a box, though.
I think she used it 2 or 3 times during the course of the chase, which is very strategic of her, but obviously that didn't translate very well to Mando, who just launched himself into it.
She uses it to save someone as well, if you look very closely. It's just coming up.
Brian, before we go there, though, while I've got you, can you give us your best Eastern European gangster on George W.'s comment, please?
No, Eastern European gangster? What the fuck?
I'm really testing you tonight. I'll take whatever you've got.
Can I ask a question? Right. So, what happened to the restraining bolts then? That was prevalent in Star Wars.
Oh,
why
simple, so effective.
Why has that thing got a restraining bolt on it?
Because they forgot that those exist, and instead they reprogrammed them, except that they didn't. So yeah, it's a really good point. It's just that nothing in this show actually consistently sort of stays with the show. They had tracking fobs in season 1, which were incredibly successful and effective, and we've never seen them again either. But yeah, restraining bolts. It worked on C-3PO and R2. Just put them on these things.
Yeah,
Brian, I'm not letting you off the hook here. I'll take a Scouser. If you can't give me an Eastern European gangster, I'll take an English gangster. Take a Scouser, sir.
An hour ago, I didn't know who Lizzo was. Now I've seen her fat ass get completely demolished, fuckers.
It's the worst Scouse accent I've ever heard.
East European gangster.
An hour ago, would you know who Lizzo was? And now I've seen her fat ass get completely demolished.
2 for 1. 2 for 1, George. I hope you enjoyed that. Excellent work, Brian. can always rely on Brian for an accent. Brian, you've got so many fantastic accents. Why do you stick with that fucking awful Scottish one? That's what I want to know. You've got access to so many wonderful voices. So dodgy running here, Mega Geek. This is this looked a bit comedic, didn't it?
Yeah, it's obvious that they're scanning someone really running. It even trips at one point, doesn't it, and keeps going, which is obviously a human trait. And that's the thing. It looked a bit dodgy, in my opinion, but it still worked. It still worked very well, as far as I'm concerned. And again, Mando was useless. Everything he tried, he fell on his ass, or Bo-Katan had to save him. It was just why are they picking on him this season? Why is he so useless in this season?
Oh no, he's always been quite useless. And Mando is famous for never using the right weapon for the circumstance. I mean, this is the guy in the Book of Boba Fett who flamethrowers at point blank range the energy shield around the droid, and then is surprised to find that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Compliments to Brian, who I believe produced tonight's show. Wow, what a frame grab. There you go, Brian. Your work
I was just saying
appreciated.
it's okay for him to be useless if he has some kind of character arc where he gets gradually better, but it's just made to look like an arse time and time again.
I think Disney and Marvel, they've got their sights set on making all men weak and useless. Everything I've seen so far, that's exactly what they're doing. It's just it's incredible when you think about it.
God forbid they ever do that to a female character, eh, Mega? Is Swapper still with us, or has he been completely consumed by Lizzo's fat arse? Are you there, Swappers?
Yeah, I'm just wondering why they didn't get Queen Dump Truck to stand in the middle of the street and just plant her arse cheeks and trap the robot as it ran down.
Swappers, I've got one for you. It's George again. He's absolutely on fire. Could you read this out?
George W. in the chat. Lizzo auditioned for the whale, but she was way too fat.
Unbelievable amount of material on Lizzo tonight. It really is. It's normally we roast the Mandalorian and Disney. Tonight, Lizzo takes center stage. Sorry, Brownie, you're not going to get any monetization for tonight. Touching 130.
The stream is just like one big hate crime. I like it.
It's a beautiful thing. It's an absolutely beautiful thing. So the chase continues. Botox Charon leading the way. She do some. Go back to that one. She does some kind of jetpack assisted jump here, if I remember.
Yeah,
right.
she jumps. She uses the jetpack to jump over that thing that she jumps over. But the thing is, they can fly, right? So why didn't they just fly instead of run? None of it makes any sense to me.
They fly now.
They fly now?
Andy Mouse says he hasn't seen it yet. Who the fuck is Lizzo? We're going to need to start again, folks. So bear with us. I'm taking us back to slide 1. We're going to start this again just for Andy.
But I was talking to my brother today, and he was saying that he loves the Mandalorian. He thinks it's great, and I said to him, it's dumb. The stories don't make any sense. I don't care. It's just really enjoyable. So that's what we're dealing with.
By what metric?
Well, people think it's enjoyable. What can I say? I mean, my brother's one out of many, right? So I don't know. I don't know what they're seeing, but hey.
Time Prophet answers Andy's question. I am not bringing the chat up, and I'm certainly not reading it out. It's entirely factual and accurate, but it's just going to... basically, Brownie will sack me if I do that, so we can't go there. So the pursuit continues into something from Blade Runner, or I don't know, Tron or something. It's a very
clones as well.
Yeah, very strange scene. But we do see a little bit of action here, don't we? With this battle droid avoiding capture. They roll now. Very good. And
Mando goes through a window to jump the robot. It's like, well, you could have used your jetpack. Do you know what I mean? And it just falls on top of him. Just none of this makes any sense. This chase does not make any sense. They're so dumb, aren't they?
About 2 or 3 episodes ago, they were trying to chase down that pterodactyl, and they were flying for fucking miles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think the window was a Kenobi episode 2 member berry. If you ask me, the way he comes flying
Take a drink, folks.
I'm just perplexed about why there's a battle droid just sitting there relaxing on a bench.
Yeah.
Drew Gordon, evening Drew, says, when Botox Karen eventually goes down on Mando, I hope they play that flute noise. Come on, Brownie, you've only got one job tonight. Get on the goddamn audio. So, he's not going to do it, is he? He's too busy jerking off in the background. So, the pursuit continues. The battle droid's going berserk, throwing all kinds of shit at our Mando heroes. But eventually, I think they manage to, well, not they, it's more Botox Karen, isn't it? Who manages to capture him. There she is, leading the way. Mando, like a fucking passenger, just running after her. He's throwing shit at them, isn't he, to stop them? What was the end game here for the battle droid? Where was he going to go? What was he going to do? I don't know.
Why is he running in the first place? That's
exactly.
Yeah.
It's just there for some action. That's all. Because every episode has to have some pew pew action, doesn't it? So.
Franco says Mr. Brown is lusting after Lizzo. He does like a big butt, I believe.
Anything with a pulse, apparently.
Exactly.
So, yes, this kind of standoff continues. We had some terrible acting from the extras here. Mega Geek as a director. Did you catch any of this? I think there was one where something landed near a group of people and they all leapt back in unison and all staged and
well, it's all
green screen.
Well, I don't think it's green. I think some most of the stuff is there, but they use those big LED screens, don't they, to make it look more authentic. So yeah, they should really, the second unit director should be directing the crowds, but obviously he didn't. He's probably asleep. So there you go. I would have fired him if I was directing this episode, but yeah, such is life. But what's the point of throwing that thing? The robot pulls that thing out, doesn't he? And he throws it, and he's just seriously, this chase is just nonsense. It really is.
There you go, folks. Take a drink, Mega Geeks. Whenever he devolves into, this is just fucking stupid, you have to take a big drink just for the truth bomb. We do love it. But one of my favourite moments is coming up. I hope we didn't.
Oh no, those bikes!
It's the bikes.
The bikes.
I didn't spot this in the episode.
No, I
They've
didn't
actually
spot
brought them
this.
back.
What's going on?
Yeah, the bikes from what episode was that? I can't remember. It was coloured though, wasn't it?
Boba Fett.
Oh, for God's sake!
Tatooine shiters.
Fan service does not normally mean how can we possibly piss off the fans the most.
What's with Nyan Yum wearing a fez?
Just like that.
It looks like a mouse doing an impression of Tommy Cooper, doesn't it? You're right. Yeah.
Abject mediocrity. I think that's the first positive message for Lizzo I've seen all night. Can't deny a curvaceous arse, he says. There we go.
I think you can. There you go.
Curvaceous is a bit kind. Mammoth.
So this is the end of the battle droid, isn't he? Finally gets his arse handed to him, and it's
not from Mandalorian.
Not from Mando. No, you're right.
It's actually both of them. If you look at the next slide,
let's have a look.
She shoots him in the chest, and she gets both arms.
Hang on, Mando is what, less than a foot away from him by the end, the tip of his gun to his chest, and he hits him in the fucking shoulder. Is that the worst shot
that could be misconstrued as the laser blast coming through his shoulder?
Is it?
I don't know.
I think it is because he fires that one and then she fires two more at the back.
Go back a slide. Just go back
Have a look at
slide.
the battle droids. There's actually a red light just there, which is I assume is because they're currently operational, and if you shoot that, they become unoperational.
Oh, there we go.
But my laptop has a light on it, and if I smash the light, the laptop isn't going to turn off.
I think it's 2001 logic. Hal.
Look, Botox Karen's nowhere to be seen right there, right? In that frame. And then suddenly,
da-dun. This is the way, swappers.
Actually, I've confused myself. It's actually the buzz droids. Remember, hit the buzz droid center eye from Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, mixing up your canon there.
I don't think I've ever heard Revenge of the Sith compared to 2001: A Space Odyssey before, but there's a first time for everything.
No, not a comparison. I've just picked the wrong one.
Or mistaken for.
Confused me, red eyes.
So this is, you know what, I'm going to say, this was actually, this made me chuckle, whether in a good way or not, but we had one of those real-world references where we had I don't know what you call them, the police droids come out and tape off the crime scene. Is that you, Swappers, groaning?
Yep.
What did you make of this?
I just thought, this is just like Book of fucking Boba Fett all over again, isn't it? Sorry, Brown, for the effing and blindness.
Again, that's a take from iRobot as well, because iRobot had those tapes that were, there was graphic tapes in the film as well. So maybe the Lord's got a point that they are ripping off iRobot. So yeah.
I can't believe their good fortune that they actually managed to find a damaged or compromised battle droid that actually had a business card of where they need to go next.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Also, have you noticed when they're running, Bo-Katan is always in front.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name?
Oh,
Mandalorian's
yes,
always behind her. So yeah, interesting. I found.
So the battle droid has met his demise. There's the police tape in the background.
Yeah.
Botox Karen, obviously, she's the leader now. It's the Botox Karen show, everyone. For legal reasons, I can't read this comment out, but Z might get away with it in his dulcet tones. I don't know, or do we just swerve that one?
Drew Gordon in the chat says, I thought Mando Judge Dredd.
Fabulous Judge Dredd.
There we go. Keep it light. And would you call that kind of part one of the side quest completed?
Well, no, they head towards the Resistor, which is a reverse Mos Eisley space bar.
Oh,
where,
of course.
All the
Yes,
music suddenly stops whenever a human walks in.
That's
it. They do the old, we don't serve your kind in here.
Yes. Yeah, I suppose it was meant to be a clever reversal of A New Hope and the Cantina, but how did they get to this point? Didn't they find was it like a equivalent of a business card on the battle droid? What?
I can't remember, some square.
It was a spark pad, which apparently contains lube and this nasty code stuff, which does them in.
But also, again, I don't know who had the idea that these droids had lives, and do you know what I mean? And
yes,
needed
recreational bars.
It was never like that in Star Wars. It was always that they were there to serve the humans or the aliens or whatever. They were kind of they were just there to work. But it looks like these got a life. They go home and they watch TV or something, and then come back out. The wife droids are sat at home pissed off because all the men droids are hanging out at the bar. I mean, it's I don't know. It just spoils it for me, the whole aspect. I mean, when did it start? Probably started with Solo, didn't it? With that stupid robot, having. Oh no, it started from Rogue One. When that robot had a life of its own, didn't he? And he was arguing with them and stuff like that. Because as I said, in Star Wars, they're all docile and they're there to do their job, aren't they? They don't really have a life or anything. They have personality, but they don't have a life. Yeah. So.
Oh, sorry, I'm bumping that one because Princess Fiona's come out with this doozy. Brian, could you do this in the style of Steel Saunders, please?
Princess Fiona in the chat says, if I want to drink lube, I'll just blow my husband.
Dear, oh dear.
That's a private conversation, which is someone made it onto the chat. I don't know. One more like for what's the milestone, Franco? Or I don't know. But
one more like for 100 likes.
For the 100 likes. Okay. Come on.
I can do it. I'll put one. There you go.
Oh, Ian, you're here all the time and you don't give it a goddamn like.
No, I just forgot. So it's 99 now. One more like.
One more like, folks. If you've not liked it, like it. In fact, just unlike it and then like it again. That works, doesn't it? Does that work?
It doesn't.
Of course it doesn't. So we
are
103
now. likes.
103. Now we need to remove some. Or can we get some unlikes, please? I'm joking, Brown. Jesus, calm down. So Mando's rather cruel. Mando's a right bitch in this episode, isn't he? He's kicking droids. Now he's threatening this droid of wiping his memory or something. It's
they've tried to do they've tried to do a kind of gumshoe side quest here, so he has to portray the stereotypical nasty gumshoe type character.
Zee, what's your opinion of all the terrible treatment that all the droids are getting in this episode, Zee?
We probably deserve it.
It's your lot in life, isn't it, Zee? Brownie says, please leave a comment about Lizzo in the chat, please. So, yeah.
I did quite like the look of the chrome blue one.
Oh,
That was a very sexy finish for a droid.
Anodized boy racer blue.
Nice.
Because they're all serving droids, aren't they? In this bar, they're not built for war, are they? They're just built to serve. And that's the thing. You see, I thought all of them were built to serve, apart from, I guess, the ones in episode 1. So I don't understand why they've just given them lives and stuff. It's just so annoying. It's not real Star Wars.
Zee, points of clarification. Were you intoxicated throughout most of your adventures?
I'm not saying anything.
You can't admit to that. We have children watching those movies. Come on, people. So we have a little bit of engagement with this bartender droid, and at this point, I'm losing the will to live. But he helps them out. I can't remember how. Lord Chord will know, because he's normally got his finger on the pulse.
May I pause on this slide for a second?
Oh, pause away, Brian.
One for swappers, the N1 Starfighter head extension.
Don't use the M word.
I saved this slide just for you, swappers.
Yes. I've got no idea. I remember seeing this bit. I've got no idea what was happening, but this is what does happen to an astromech when let's not get bogged down.
Oh, we've not had it all episodes because we've not got Brownie on. We've not got his catchphrase. We've not been able to do the old classic joke. Quick one for Zee, though. How's Uncle Owen, Zee? Franco's asking.
He's absolutely fine, and will be fine again tomorrow when I give him some morning glory.
You know what this reminds me of, though? It's got R2-D2's eye. It's got the aerial from that thing that came out from the snow. It's amalgamation of lots of things from Star Wars, isn't it? This R2's head. Yeah, it's just weird.
It's actually supposed to be coming out of the astromech droid, as Spoppers was saying there a minute ago.
Right.
That's what it does, apparently.
It pops up. Yeah, it pops.
That's the workaround they came up with, because they don't really fit in the N1 Starfighter from Phantom Menace.
Oh, I see. And all the droids were drinking, like with straws coming out. I mean, what are they drinking? They're droids. I don't understand what's going on here.
They do explain it in this scene, but all I could think of was that Daft Punk have fallen on hard times. But I think it's the chit things have some sort of lubricant in them that keeps them functioning properly. Is that it? They don't drink normal human food, or drink even. But oh god! And so what they've decided to do is, because they've realized that all of the droids that malfunctioned drank from the same batch of whatever the lube they bought happens to be. So they've gone to test it. Now, if you think, we've got some lube here, and the lube seems to be turning droids insane, how would you go about extracting the lube from a previously insane droid? Would you, A, do it yourself, or B, use another droid to do it? But this is the Mandalorian, so of course they use a droid to extract the goo that they think might be causing droids to go insane, and it promptly goes insane.
Now we've got well, first of all, we another member berry, so I mean we're all drinking liberally at this point. But this is the
torture droid
torture device from Leia's prison cell, isn't it? But also we've got who's this chap here with the darker
chap?
No takers on that one. No one's touching that with a barge pole.
It looks very much. If Melvin will know this reference, it looks very much like Grado, Scottish comedy program. Robbie Coltrane.
It's Robbie Coltrane, apparently. They CGI'd him in.
The brother / sister of the character from the Dr. Pershing episode from a few weeks ago.
Oh, yes.
I'm trying to forget that episode.
Oh, hey, it looks
Such an awful
it looks
episode.
Shakespearean compared to this now. Well, anyway, they, them, he, her, whatever we're dealing with there, I don't know. But the droid malfunctions, or it goes apeshit, doesn't it? And it starts.
That guy's big. Is that a guy?
No, it's Lizzo in whiteface.
Is it a guy though?
It's Wizzo.
It's not. No, it's not a guy.
It's a woman.
Yeah, I believe so. Wouldn't want to presume,
if you refer to it as it, continue to refer to it as it, and you're on
No,
safe ground.
I'm only saying it because I don't know how to them, they, blah blah blah. I don't know what am I supposed to say now these days. Do you know what I mean?
believe it is supposed to be a woman.
Okay,
but I'm not sure.
I think the correct etiquette is you approach the being and ask to clarify his genitalia, and that's the way to do it. Anyway, Brown is sweating bullets, so we're going to move on. So the not probe droid, what is it? Torture droid goes mad, and it's firing lasers all over the place. Mando actually does something here, doesn't he? He takes out the old
does some. I
black
can't remember
dildo sword.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, it takes out the yes, he does.
The dark saber.
I just ask why they've got robots in a morgue.
It's
because it's
weird,
stupid.
it?
That's why. Do you know what I mean? It's just makes no sense. They don't think this through, do they? When they're writing it, they really don't.
It's the gumshoe theme again. Look for clues, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Comment of the night coming in hot, everyone. Get ready for this one. He doesn't comment often, but when he does, it's a humdinger. There we go. I think he's just died and his nose has just fell onto the end on his keyboard. But listening fat, we appreciate it. This is the kind of quality you get in our chat, folks, as we approach. We're 12 minutes and we've got 184 slides to do. Can we do it, folks? You're damn right we can.
Also, another thing that I notice about Star Wars is that they got all these flashing lights and red, green, blue, whatever, but none of them has any instructions of what the lights do. So how could they're just pushing buttons? And it's like, shouldn't something have, at the bottom say off, on, or nuclear reactor or something like that? None of them had any writing underneath them whatsoever. It's just like a Christmas tree. TV Christmas tree or something. I don't get what's going on. I really don't.
Now this is the point. I don't know if I just completely lost all will at this point, because we started getting into some real ridiculous explanation for some kind of, I don't know how you describe it, infection or it was frankly just beyond the pale. So
Nanotech.
And
nano machines, son.
Honestly, it just made no sense at all. But
it doesn't. Her line didn't make a sense either, because she said it didn't arrive through acquisitions, and then goes on to say they were requisitioned by the security office. So it did come through acquisitions. What are you talking about,
just a bit regarding this actor / actress / they, them, whoever she is. He apparently he, she, they, them is an LGBTQ plus activist and has been arrested and has a criminal record multiple times, but obviously Disney don't
Are you
mind.
making this up, or is this actually
No,
true?
this is absolute. No, I know I'm a bullshitter, but no, this bit is true. So
sentenced to star in The Mandalorian.
Yes, I looked at them and I thought, that just screams LGBT activist, and it turns out it was correct.
No, it's absolutely true. Brownie's even backing me up there, as obviously. He's in touch with my legal team, so yes, absolutely true. Funny, isn't it? Cara Dune, what's her name? The actress was booted out for some, I don't know, really not very controversial tweets, yet will employ someone who's been arrested multiple times for actual criminal activity. So,
can I ask a question? Right, so when the torture droid goes mad, it fires a green laser. right? And then the woman, the big woman that was sitting there, she grabs her arm, but she doesn't get shot. It misses her, yet she grabs her arm and falls to the ground.
I noticed that because
really
I thought
weird.
that's going to really sever through her arm, but no. Apparently, lesbian fat is tougher than Beskar, so it's all good.
I was going to say, I thought she got
sorry,
killed.
Brown,
Yeah,
edit that bit out.
No, but you don't see the laser doesn't go. It goes past her, but yet she grabs her arm like she got shot. So maybe they just forgot to put the effect that went through her or something, or maybe somebody decided, no, we can't kill someone of that ilk. You know, what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So it's weird. It's absolutely weird. But anyway, whatever.
So here we have the plot twist, folks. I mean, to have a plot twist, you got to have a plot in the first place. But we do have the plot twist of. Lo and behold, Scooby-Doo-like, the mask is whipped off, and Christopher Lloyd is behind all of this. Brian, do you want to make a fist of this and explain how we got to this point?
It's very convenient that they found that he'd actually signed the chitty to say, bring these robots in. So it was quite easy to find out who was in charge when it just blatantly tells him who's guilty.
Yeah, you would think that he would disguise that.
Sign it as Doc Brown.
Yeah, exactly. And have his face, there as well. It's like, this is ridiculous.
Brilliant. Talk about spoon feeding your audience. Jay Goodwin says PS1 Christopher Lloyd. Just about sums it up. So we know the bad guy is. It's and they're going to arrest him, I believe. And this is where we get to the big red button scene. Franco loves it. He absolutely loves this channel, and we love you too, Franco. We won't be around for long, though, because some dodgy shit goes down on this. But hey, while we're here, folks, make the most of it. So they go back to the control room, and Doc Brown Alliance, very good, George. George still serving time in Belmarsh, but we love you, George. We don't judge you. We hope we know none of it was true, and those allegations were unfounded. But
because if it was true, he'd be hired by Disney.
Well, there you go. If you fancy a part, George, we just need you to show your disability card or your pronouns. But there's the big red button, and he's threatening to hit the button. What happens, Swappers, if he hits the button?
I don't know. He starts a game of Bop It.
I remember that game.
I believe the big red button, if you press it this time, turns them all back into battle droids, in which case everyone dies. But his reasoning for this is that, I think we touched upon it earlier, is that he's an old he's a sympathizer for the old Confederacy movement. He's a separatist. He doesn't like being called a separatist because apparently it's pejorative. But he calls Count Dooku a visionary. He's a firm Democrat. He doesn't want to be under the control of the Republic. He doesn't want to be under the control of the Empire. He doesn't want to be under anyone's control. He's a Democrat, first and foremost, which is one of the really interesting things in the backstory that you can read into the Confederacy movement and, Dooku's inspiration and his aspirations. And there's so much interesting stuff you can do with that. Instead, the Mandalorian just says, yeah, he's a separatist. That's why there are battle droids. He's a Democrat. That's why he's doing all of this on a planet which already has complete direct democracy. So trying to make it make sense. The only thing I can think of reading into his motive is that the Jack Black's character, who has been sent by the Republic, that there is a conflict between those two, and he thinks that the planet is slipping back toward more Republic control. But I don't think the show actually ever makes that clear. It might be that I wasn't paying attention, but I don't think it does. In which case, that's me attempting desperately to make the show more interesting than it really is.
Yeah.
He alludes to the planet being changed because of him, but I don't think does he directly say? I don't think he directly says that it's because of that.
Again, the hero doesn't stop the main bad guy. This is a theme that's going through all the movies and all the TV shows, isn't it? They seem to not like the hero catching the villain. It always has to be the female that does something that puts someone down, if you know what I mean. And this is no exception because Bo-Katan shoots him before you can press the button. So,
Brian, we're doing Doc Brown quotes in the chat because Star Wars is so fucking terrible. This is what we've degenerated to. I'm going to flash one up on screen, Brian. Give it your best, Doc Brown, for the 119 who stuck with us to 5 minutes to midnight. Go.
Can someone else have a go? I'm not a Doc Brown.
Come on, Brown. Go on, Brian. I've got faith in you.
Will Yallich Madich in the chat says,
Great Scott, Marty. Your mother gives terrible rim jobs.
That was a good one, Brian. Don't doubt yourself. Brilliant. Just clip that, Brown, and we'll put that on Twitter, and you'll be at the 300,000 subscribers like Robot Head before you know it. So, is he going to hit the red button? We've got a bit of a standoff. Botox Karen says, don't do it. Mando stands there like the fucking plank he is in his own show. And he gets daughtered, doesn't he? Is that what a great shot. Brian, you had your eye in brew tonight, sir. That's a brilliant shot. What I found strange about this, he gets darted, appears to fall backwards, but then when the camera angle changes, he seems to fall sideways. I couldn't quite work out.
It's the Wazzle Gummidge syndrome.
Is that what it was? So, yeah, there we go. He's clearly falling backwards there. That can't be him, though. I mean, you can't have an 80-year-old man falling backwards like that. It must be maybe a brownie as the stand-in for this scene, and then he hits the floor, and that's that. Poor old Doc Brown. Yeah, so we are back to the Eden Project, and this was a fucking strange scene. Yeah. Back to Lizzo, folks. Cue the fun in the chat. What's she doing here, Ian? She's playing some kind of game of crochet or something, isn't it?
What makes me laugh is it's a creature that's wandering on the ground, and they fold it up and they chuck it. They chuck the creature through the holes, and whatever this game is. But little Yoda helps her to win, basically, doesn't it? So it's just
Jack Black looking at her arse there.
I think he's more or less.
Can't see much else, can he? A costume smacks of, you go to one of these conventions and you have people walking around in cosplay. It's like she's playing a Disney princess, but she's far too fat to pull it off. So you kind of just smile and think, good effort, but fuck me, that was a bad choice. But Yoda helps her out. She's playing Space Crow. There you go. Got to give Yoda something to do, haven't we? Christ. Been absolutely pointless in this entire episode. And yes, she gets all 5 holes in one. I don't know what you describe it as. Do you think when they're creating this shit, they think they're being inventive and original?
Well, I think they are being inventive. The special effects and the stuff that they come up with to do with the show is very inventive, but unfortunately it's hanged on a really terrible screenplay. All the screenplays have been awful so far. I mean, what else can I say? Again, I'm going to say this to be positive. The effects in this was really good. You can't fault it. Screenplay's terrible though, But yeah.
Another great shot there of Lizzo, Jack Black. Doesn't get more Star Warsy than that, folks, does it? Look at that. Brilliant.
In the name of gender parity, though, you can see his moves through his dress.
Yeah. Just seriously, what is that in the background? Is that a chair? What is that on the left of the screen?
Oh, it's one of that.
It's
what is it?
What is that?
I don't know. I thought it was a chair at first. I don't know what it is.
It's one of Lizzo's period pads, maybe. I don't know.
The statue of a paracetamol tablet.
Probably, yeah.
Poor Doc Brown. He's all handcuffed, and he's he fesses up, doesn't he? Basically, and they say how disappointed they are in him.
He asks for forgiveness, doesn't he?
Oh, I felt sorry for the poor chap. Not just his character, but I just genuinely felt sorry for Christopher Lloyd. But yes, they've brought him bang to rights, and
they exile him to the moon of something or other as well. It's so B-movie sci-fi, this episode. It's astonishing.
Yeah.
Jaden Jaden Smith Eyes says, looks like Lizzo took a bite out of that pill statue. And George's been on form tonight. He might get my award for best convict in the chat. George says, Lizzo literally chewing the scenery. Very good.
This is the bit where she gives them the key, and the key's huge. It's like, what the hell is this? You have the key to the city. Look at the key. Jeez.
Well, the bigger the key is, the smaller it makes Lizzo look, but it doesn't quite work, does it?
How big must the hole be, though? I mean, I suppose she's an expert on that, but still,
I really don't know what's going on with our entertainment these days.
And this is, I mean, just when you thought that we reached the depths of ridiculousness, we end on this. Z, what's going on here? Is this Baby Yoda getting about to get beheaded? What's going on?
Z's on mute.
He's muted.
Z's on.
Baby Yoda is getting knighted.
Z's gone for a pee. Thanks, Lord Chord. Baby Yoda is getting knighted. But
why did he get knighted? What for? What did he do?
Cheat. He helped her in a game of space crochet. Smilex has got it right. This just came out of nowhere. There's nothing in this episode which, I mean, if Botox Karen got knighted, okay, she's done something. But Baby Yoda, it's just...
I don't see the point of that at all.
And it's not only that, but oh God, it's like an Earth custom given out by the bloody British monarchy. What the fuck are we seeing it in this show for?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's incredibly stupid, isn't it? Why? What the question is, why is Yoda getting knighted? Because really, those two, the Mandalorian and her, should get knighted because they've done the planet a service, haven't they? So I don't know.
Hang on a minute. Botox Karen got the key. What did Mando get?
Nothing.
Nothing. He got chewied from A New Hope. He got absolutely nothing. He got his name on the show, and he's been relegated to what, third character, maybe? I don't know. Jim D says he's over it. He's done. He's over it.
I don't blame him.
Tim Hannabom says, make it stop. Please make it stop. Sorry, Brian, I know we've milked you to death like Luke milking the space cow on Acto, but MJ84 says, not Brian, please do the fat bastard, I want your baby.
I can't remember the delivery, but
I want your baby.
That was sounded a bit Nelson Mandela there, sorry.
A bit.
Jen isn't pulling any punches. Jen says, fuck this show.
Dear, right dear.
And Smilex says there's just no thought going into the show. And,
no, there isn't really.
You're absolutely right.
We haven't finished yet, though, with this show.
We've not. It's unbelievably, the knighting of Yoda wasn't the end of this abomination of an episode. We basically, the Mandos now are going to the, what do you call them, the rogue Mandros, the ones who are operating on their own, and I think Botox Karen's trying to convince them to rejoin the army of Mandalore. Lord Chord's always good at synopsizing these, if that's a word, these scenes. So do you want to set us up for this finale, Lord?
Yeah, this is the only bit of the episode that's actually plot relevant. It's the last 5 minutes of it, and we finally got to the point where we remember the reason they are here is that she's supposed to be reuniting the Mandalorian clans to retake Mandalore, even though they could do that on their own because there's basically no one there. And he rejects her because she doesn't have the Darksaber. So she challenges him to a fight, even though he says correctly that she should really have been challenging Mando to a fight, given that he's the one who has it. And then it gets worse from there because Mando says, yeah, you're right, but I lost it in combat in 3 episodes ago now. 4 episodes ago now. It was episode 2, wasn't it? Yeah. I lost it in combat. She beat the person who beat me, so it really does belong to her, so I'm going to give it to her. And she says, okay, thanks. After a fight, obviously they have to fight first because it's action.
Also, so wasn't it meant to be heavy, the sword, if it wasn't for you?
There's some rule about how it's hard to use.
Yeah, if it's not for you, or if it's not if the sword doesn't choose you. So when she did take the sword off him in that episode and saved him, how comes it wasn't heavy for her?
Because it belongs properly to her, I think, is the rule.
Oh, right. Okay.
MJ says helmets off now. Yeah, we're just going loose and fast with this rule. I think Botox Karen got a pass on the last episode regarding helmets because hey, Mando's not turning up to do his acting stint, so one of the actors has to. But essentially, what we're getting here, folks, is Guy from the coffee commercial and Botox Karen having a tete-a-tete duel. And indeed, they do fly now, as T-Gun points out. And basically, yeah, they're fighting for the right to lead the Mandalorians, I believe. And guess who wins, folks? Is it going to be the woman or is it going to be the man? Where'd you put your money on this one? We all fucking know where it's going.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, they have a bit of a fight. It's certainly no Obi-Wan versus Jango Fett, is it? It leaves a bit to be desired, this battle.
But the number of times he fires a rocket launcher just randomly. There's even a shot where everyone else has to duck out of the way because he's just shooting rockets at random at people. It hits his own ship. Could have killed any number of his own people. He has presumably blaster guns as well as his little wrist blade things. The fight scene is kind of comical, as with everything else.
He has a gun on his hip, and he didn't use it.
He just doesn't use it.
Weird.
Winner gets to lead the Mandalorians. Loser gets to star in my trilogy, which is coming soon to Disney Plus, folks. Hang on in there. So, yeah, we have this fight, and considering all the weapons available, it's a rather pathetic fight. There's a little bit of using the rockets to fly at each other. There's bizarrely, they both pull knives at some point and start slinging knives, slashing each other with knives. But
even though both of them have got guns on their hips.
That's the bit where he almost kills half of his own people.
Yeah.
He slams her into the side, almost similarly to how Boba Fett crashes into Jabba's sail barge in Return of the Jedi.
Franco says, "You gotta fight for the right to lead the Mandos." Thank you, Franco. Just woke the dog up, but never mind. Baby Yoda's just watching all this shit go down. Potentially,
he's probably having a
Karen
as well,
could be killed
in that little thing. He's probably having a little poo.
I wonder what colour his poos are.
Green.
Same as humans then, yes?
Exactly.
I hope that's normal for everyone. Yeah, so the fight continues. Yeah, everyone's just standing around watching. I wonder how much Mercedes from WWE got paid for this episode, because I don't think she had a line. I don't think she did anything but stand and... I
think in the next couple of episodes coming, I reckon she'll
maybe
like more of a part.
Maybe she'll get a kit off. We'll see.
Yeah.
I like the guy on the left in that last shot, though, has clearly been told to look dramatic. He's the only one who seems to be sort of invested in the scene.
Yeah. Power stance. Got the wide power stance going on, hasn't he?
Okay, so just going back to what the Lord said. So if the saber belonged to her, was meant to be for her, so how comes the Mandalorian can lift it then?
He can lift it, he just can't use it very easily. It's just very tricky for him to do, which is why he's always shown to be struggling with it. It's Z might know, because I think you've probably watched the animated shows. What is the stuff? Why is it that the Darksaber is heavy for Mando but not for Bo?
It has to accept its user.
Right.
Oh, the one chooses the wizard, Harry.
Yes.
It's a bit like Windows 98, folks. That's how it works. Finn, I'm treading carefully, Finn. I don't. Finn, why am I struggling with a 9-letter word so much? My ass. I don't know, Finn. We'll just call you.
You know what he's trying to say there,
2987.
You know
yes, that's the joke I was looking for. Short. Yes, he says, why do they even wear helmets when they're not going to wear them for a fight? Well, good point. Anyway, look what happens, folks. Surprise, fucking surprise. The woman wins. And, oh no, we're still going on with this fight, but eventually she does. Trust me, I watched the episode. They fly up on the wing of a spacecraft. A little bit more rocket work. Flamethrower. Yep.
Force
using the gun.
Yeah,
He's gonna
stops
use
the
the
flamethrower,
flamethrower.
doesn't she?
Time Prophet says he just needs 4 more upvotes and then he can go to bed. So please relieve him if you would, folks.
Yeah, she's got a force field thing there that stops
Force
it.
field, yes. Eden Project in the background. Donald Trump's golf course. This was set on, by the way, if you're interested. And there we go. She pins him down. She straddles him. Brownie's getting excited, and she asks him to concede, essentially, doesn't she?
There's this bit in the fight where she has the knife that comes out, the little thing on her wrist, and then she punches him right in the chest with the same hand, and then you notice that they put visual effect there that the knife comes back out again. It's like, well, what's the point of it being? In other words, they made a mistake. Then they obviously made a mistake. That
and it's not as bad as the disappearing knife in The Last Jedi, but it is.
Oh god, yeah.
Please, that was deliberate. So we have, having won the battle head-to-head, we then have a bit of a convo here, don't we? Where Mando, I think Lord Chord's already set this up for us, but Mando makes the case that even though he is in possession of the Darksaber, in fact, in a long extrapolated and way, he explains basically Botox Karen beat the thing that beat him, and therefore she is the rightful owner. Coffee commercial guy says, well, yes, that works for me. Random Mandos of all ethnicities, backgrounds, genders, and so on. And yes, we basically, Botox Karen is deemed to be the leader of the Mandalorians and the recipient of the Darksaber. There's Mercedes, folks.
Have you noticed all the white people are pushed to the background?
Well, it's where they should be. Let's face it.
But the only reason that they didn't do this 4 episodes ago, when they should have done, is that the writers found it very inconvenient, and they just kind of strategically forgot that this is what happens with the Darksaber until this very moment in order that this can happen. But there's no reason that she shouldn't have demanded the Darksaber from him way back at the beginning, and just didn't do that because, well, fuck it, I guess.
Brownie wants 20 more subs to get to 2100. So if you can just dash off, make a quick fake account, and give him a sub from that fake account, that will do the job nicely. That is the way. So there we go. I think we wrap with the Darksaber being ignited, and what an episode! We're into the images. So the best part of the Mandalorian, as we all know. So as I scroll through these images, it's time we do the rounds and we get your closing thoughts and, as always, your score for this episode. And I can't wait. Brownie's queued it up there. He wants your marks out of 10. So, Lord Chord, I'm going as you're lined up on screen. Lord Chord, first up, what do you make of this one, Lord, and what do you give it?
It's a weird one because I had to watch it in such a weird way. I'm going to rewatch it, and I don't doubt I'll hate it more when I do. But I still don't think it's as bad as the stupid Suddenly Pterodactyl episode, which I gave a 2. So logically, this one must be a 3.
Oh, okay. Interesting from the Lords. Brian, what do you make of this one?
I absolutely hated this episode. It felt like Canto shite on LSD. I couldn't believe some of the stuff I was watching. I just felt soiled, angry, and annoyed when I come out. And I've never really felt annoyed. I felt bored during these shows, but never really that annoyed. To me, it just feels as if Star Wars has just become... It's just the dying embers of the MCU now, just only used for crap meta jokes and cameos. I lost count of the number of member berries that were through this entire episode, lifts and blatant knockoffs. When I did the slides and kind of watching it the second time, I didn't quite hate it as much. I got a bit used to it, but it's still, I think there's some decent stuff in there, here and there. They just haven't put it together as a proper package. They really should have made this the Bo-Katan series and focused mainly on her, made it several chapters shorter, and I think it could have been watchable instead of the farce that we got, I think.
Scathing. What was your score,
rating?
Brian? Yeah.
Very, very generous 4.
Oh, very generous. We had a 3 and a 4. I'm somewhat surprised. Z, what are you bringing to the table?
Well, if I may compare this to the cinematic masterpiece as is The Last Jedi, this would be the Canto Bite section of the movie.
Oh.
I'm therefore giving it a 3 out of 10.
Oh, okay. We're in. Frankly, I'm amazed we're in the positive numbers at this stage. Can we go to Lizzo's big fat arse? Sorry, Swapshop for his summary and score, please.
God, I struggled to muster up any positive numbers for this, so I'm just going to give it a -10 out of 10.
Oh, there we go, folks.
And
I thought we weren't allowed to do that. You have to give it 0 to 10, because otherwise I'd have given like episode 4 -50.
Positive marks.
Okay.
Whoa, the voice of God booming into the stream there.
For anyone unfamiliar who does come to the stream for the first time, the only reason I'm giving this a 3 and I gave the worst episode a 2 is that I'm confident the show will somehow get worse and I need to leave some numbers underneath the ones I've given. That's the reason for it. But given those constraints, I think we have to make Swapshop do his again.
Oh, hold on.
We're going to force you to give us a 0 to 10 rating.
I'm just going to scavenge around for some fucks to find. What's this? I've got one here, right here. Yeah, I think it's a 0.378 out of 10.
Oh, we'll round it up to 0. Okay. Okay, very good. And Mega Geek, take us home.
Freaking hell. I'd give this a 1, tell you the truth, out of 5. Is it out of 5? 1, because it's not very good. Also, have you not noticed in the
10,
paintings, is it out of 10?
Yeah,
it's still a 1. Have you noticed in the paintings that the Mando is the one that gets the robot that was running and they must have changed it in the script. And also, if you notice in the paintings, that Lizzo is white, is a white fat woman in the paintings. I don't know if you noticed that, which is really weird.
Go back, have a look.
So there you go. So I don't know what changed. Maybe maybe KK said, "Oh, we got to have that woman of color in that shot."
Yeah,
the Mando can't get the robot. We'll have to get Kate Sappho to get the robot.
It's totally turning into her show, isn't it? You can see
it.
OJ coming right in at the death with give it a 3.14, which is pie because Lizzo likes pie. Very good. It's 20 past midnight and he's coming out with those gems. We do appreciate it.
So in the paintings, Mando's very much the hero of this episode. Yet it didn't happen in the episode, which is really, well, we know why, don't we? So there you go. Interesting, I find.
So as for myself, I just thought this went from farcical to just confusing to bizarre to kind of Vietnam flashbacks to Last Jedi, if I'm honest. I can't muster much more than a 2 out of 10, and as Lord says, I'm trying to leave myself some wiggle room because I've got full faith that Disney's got a 1 or even a 0 out of 10 episode left in the bag. But I'm going to give this one a 2 again, just purely for some nice visuals. But good God, it was a bizarre and awful episode. Mr. Brown, thanks everyone. He says, if you're not please subscribe. And very important, please leave a Lizzo comment in the comments section. Por favor. Drops a bit of, is that Spanish?
Por favor.
Spanish?
Yes.
Yeah, a bit of Spanish on your asses there. Folks, that's a wrap. We got through it. We always get through it together. It's like Alcoholics Anonymous for tortured Star Wars fans. We got there, folks. Are we going to do this again? Before I thank everyone, are we going to stick with this?
Yeah, there's only 2 left. We have to.
There's 2 left, folks. There's 2 left, and then we can all slit our wrists. That's what we'll do.
2 left.
We have to.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got to.
I think we should all get absolutely wankered for the last one, just to celebrate.
We are. We're going to go out on a high. Next week we've got more accents from Brian. We've got more. This is fucking stupid quotes from Ian. Come on, you all come here for these things. Swapper's going to find another big fat arse for his icon. So make sure you tune in for that one. I need to say a thank you to all the fantastic guests. They turn up every week, folks. They watch this damn shit like it's the worst homework you've ever done, and then they bring it here every time. Lord Chord, thank you, sir.
Thank you as ever.
Not Brian, brilliant work on the accents. I never knew you had an Eastern European gangster in the locker, but you pulled it out for us tonight.
Thanks, Rune. Thanks also to Lost Chord, Zee-ThreePIO, Swappers, Mega, and the chat, who have been in top form yet again.
Excellent in the chat. I'm going to say it's probably my second favourite ever performance by the chat. I still think the Dr. Pershing episode was the number one. But look, chat, come back next week. You've still got a chance to take the trophy for the best chat ever. Z, thank you, sir. It was a total droid fest tonight, but you're still my favourite droid, Z.
It is. There were so many droids getting lubed up. It was difficult to contain myself.
Swappers, you brought the Lizzo fat arse, and we thank you for it, sir.
There's no avoiding Lizzo's arse, sadly. So it's always going to pop up somewhere. Obviously, I don't know what about next week. I think we're probably going to miss it if it doesn't come back. But
we'll
suffer,
miss
I
it.
guess. But thanks to everybody in the chat. It was an absolute joy reading those comments. My God, I was sitting here in tears, absolute tears.
Yes.
I was in tears of misery watching the show, and I'm in tears of joy reading everyone's comments. Thanks to everybody on the panel as well. I really look forward to these Wednesdays because the show's so dire. It's just such a brilliant tonic in comparison. So yes, thank you, Ruin, as well, for brilliant hosting.
Oh, you're welcome, sir. We always say the worse Star Wars gets, the better our streams are. So, and last but not least, Mega Geek, thank you, sir. I know as a director you'll have absolutely cringed yourself into oblivion watching this, but we got through it. And are you going to be back next week, Mega?
Do I have to?
Yeah, you have to. You signed a contract and we're going to hold you to it.
Damn it. No worries, guys.
Excellent. That's a wrap, folks. From me, from Botox Karen, from Pussy Whipped Mando, and to all you beautiful man babies in the chat, until next time, it's this is the way. I'll see you next week, folks. Good night, everyone.
Good night from me.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night from me.
Bye from Lizzo's big fat arse.
Timing.